What up, y'all? It's me, Nate Almighty, and I'm back with another Raising Kanan Season 4 Theory and Prediction video. And for today, I want to talk about the many addictions of the Thomas family. What I'm going to do for this video is, I'm going to name every known Thomas family member, and I'm going to discuss every known addiction that they have, as well as what I presume are the other addictions that these characters may or may not have had based off of who they are as characters, and also based off of how old they are and what they went through that would cause them to have these different addictions. And I will speak about every single Thomas family member in this video. This video is going to be another banger, another kind of video that only I, Nate Almighty, makes, because I'm the hardest working content creator on YouTube, man. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you're new here. Without further ado, let's get to it. All right, now, y'all, let's break it down like this, and let's start out with Elijah E-Train Thomas. Okay, so the one addiction that I feel like I know for sure that he had, even though we did not have an exact confirmation of it, is alcohol. Alcohol. I believe that he was a hard drinker, okay? He was a hard drinker because a lot of the most depressed people in the world, right, they are hard drinkers, okay? And he needed something hard to get him through the night after working a day of doing things that he did not want to do, because he had to support his family and his wife, who Joyce says he didn't really like her that much at all, right? And I also want to add in weed, because there's a lot of weed smoke going on back in them days, right? Just like it's a lot of weed smoke going on now. And weed is the most easily accessible drug. And I also want to say potentially cocaine or heroin. There's a reason why before Raising Kanan, they never really named the product that they were selling, but they talking about heroin and they're naming it in Raising Kanan. There's reasons why they're doing that, okay? And next, I want to go to Joyce Thomas, and I'm going to say mostly probably the same as Elijah Thomas. Mostly probably the same. Why? Because it's the Bobby and Whitney effect. You're around someone every day and they doing a certain thing. Before long, you will find yourself at least dabbling in the same thing. And in the worst case scenario, you'll be a full-blown addict just like them, right? That's Joyce Thomas. Next, we got Rock, okay? And with Rock, her two addictions that I see, we got the game itself, the power that comes from it, money, right? Money, power, respect. But as far as substances go, I got cigarettes. Y'all notice over the seasons, Rock has been smoking more and more cigarettes. The more stress she gets, the more cigarettes she smokes. She been smoking a lot of cigarettes, man. A lot of cancer sticks have been going into Raquel Thomas's lungs over the last 2 seasons. And it's going to get worse. Y'all remember when Lou was acting up towards the end of last season, she was stressed out over her baby bro. Y'all know she had about 10 cigarette butts in there. And y'all know when it started getting real for Kanan, when Kanan started getting into more and more trouble, y'all remember when she was talking to when she was talking to Howard about Kanan, how she was tossing a cigarette butt on the floor, things like that, right? But for Rock, I got the game itself, and I got cigarettes. Now with Lou, we got alcohol. And the reason why I put Elijah E-Train Thomas as someone who likely was addicted to alcohol as well, I believe that Lou got that from his father. And the reason why I believe Lou got that from his father is because he defended his father, right? When Kanan was stepping up and asking about, yo, what was going on? How was my father growing up? What's your opinion on it? Right? I believe that Lou picked up that same habit from his daddy. And next, moving on, we got Marvin. And with Marvin, his addiction is the game. Still, but the game in a different way than Rock, right? It ain't necessarily about the money. It's about the adrenaline feeling of putting in work, okay? Now, somebody who I had my era in the streets, putting in work means robbing people, sticking people up, doing burglaries, right? Playing the knockout game in the street. And if you don't know what the knockout game is, that's when you link up with your boys and you say, yo, let's just find people and we're going to see who can knock out the most people. And half of the time, you're not knocking them out, but you're learning to, and you know what I'm saying? It's bully behavior. That is hater behavior, but there is always an adrenaline rush that you get from committing crimes and doing bad things in the street. I feel like Marvin's adrenaline feeling of putting in work, right? Killing, hurting people, that's what he's addicted to the most. And if you want to say food, you can say food, but Marvin is not overweight. You can't call someone a food addict who's not overweight. Like, dude's in shape, okay? Next, we got Jukebox. Jukebox's addiction, because we ain't see her take on drinking and none of that yet. Hers is similar to Marvin's, but it's the adrenaline of being a jackboy, pulling heists like an OG Power, right? Thrill from killing, inherited from her father. I believe this describes Jukebox very, very well. It's psychologically. It's less dependent based and psychologically. And then also, before I forget, when we go back to Marvin, whatever he was addicted to in the past and maybe he'll get addicted to again, maybe we'll find out it's heroin, maybe it's cocaine. It hasn't been specified. And last but not least, when we talk about Kanan, okay? And we talk about Kanan's addictions, we know that in OG Power, okay, he developed somewhat of a substance abuse to lean. So we can throw that in there. But overall, with or without including lean, we got the game. The game in ways similar to both Rock and Marvin. The adrenaline of killing, right? The adrenaline of putting in work, okay? The adrenaline of making money, the power that comes from it. All of those things intertwined are what made Kanan who he is. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know your comments in the comment section. Peace.
Can't teach that shit, nigga. Come on. That's God-given. That's touched by an ink. That's on the dome, nigga.